Welcome back to LinkU Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until the sequel Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is in 139 days today. We've officially breached the next 10-day mark. Also, I'm recording 3 of these videos at the same time today. Well, not in the same time, but all at once in one day because I'm leaving for Christmas tomorrow to see my family. So there will be a daily upload, but I'm recording all of them today. I hope you guys have the best holidays. Even if you're not spending them with family, get cozy, have a good time, maybe play some video games. But today, what I want to talk about is some news that resurfaced recently, just this week, which is that Tears of the Kingdom officially got rated. And it got rated E plus 10, which I'm pretty sure is the same rating that Breath of the Wild got when it originally released. We have different ratings in Germany, but I'm assuming it's gonna be like, the German rating is gonna be like 12 plus years that you have to be to play the game, which didn't surprise me too much. The reason I was kind of hoping for Tears of the Kingdom to maybe get a different rating is because I thought that the people that played Breath of the Wild, obviously now 6 years later, have grown up. So if you were like 12 playing Breath of the Wild, they were able to play the game back then, or 10, then you would be 16 now. Somewhere along those, along that age, which I think could have opened up some interesting possibilities. Tears of the Kingdom immediately, since the first teaser, looked a little bit darker. Not only did we see a darker setting, but the teaser immediately started off quite, like, we weren't in the, oh yeah, there's this Hyrule, this vast world to explore anymore. It's like, oh yeah, shit is actually going down. Like, there's this, the castle is flying, Mel is everywhere, the theme is dark, Zelda is falling. I was basically hoping that potentially we could explore some a little bit more mature themes, a little bit darker, but seems like we're not going to be getting that. So my one request, I think, that I always had, and let me know if you completely disagree with this, is that I really wanted some interaction between Link and Zelda. A ton of people ship them and want them to actually interact with each other more. I think the closest we've ever gotten to this is in Skyward Sword in the beginning. And it doesn't look like we're gonna get much interaction between them in this game, because from what we know so far, which is basically nothing, looks like Zelda is falling down somewhere again. A lot of people have already said, oh yeah, looks like we're gonna get the same theme as usual, Princess is gone, we're gonna have to save her. But I still personally really would like to have them actually explore together, talk, and have some sort of interaction going on, you know? Have them actually talk to each other instead of just watching memories where, well, we already know that Link won't talk back, but you know what I mean. Have some character development there, but that might not happen. I personally don't mind, like, I'm not one to be like, oh, I need my game to be like brutal and gory or whatever. Quite the opposite. It's not that I necessarily dislike when that happens in games. I'm not like, oh, this can't happen. But if games glorify like brutality and whatchamacallit, violence, I'm not necessarily into that unless it adds to the game. Like, I really don't care, again, unless I feel like it really contributes to the game's message, to the game, what the game is trying to do at the time. But that being said, I basically expected this rating. I don't think there's much to say about it. People asked me to comment on this during one of those videos because this was the most recent news we have recently gotten. The only thing that I feel like is a little... It's not upsetting, but the only thing that I'm like, huh, too bad, is it would have been cool to explore some darker themes. And I also do think that people that played Breath of the Wild have obviously grown up now to be like teenagers or maybe young adults. So that could have been cool, but obviously Nintendo wants to sell their games to kids as well. And I know for a fact from viewers of my stream that obviously sometimes people get into the game later. Like, there could be a 12-year-old kid that gets into the game today, and they also want to play Tears of the Kingdom, so that makes sense in that regard. That being said though, this is something I was wondering about recently, And this is not an invitation, by the way, for you to say your age in the comments. I usually am not a big fan when people do that. There's some creepy people around online, so keep that to yourself. But that being said, I am extremely curious to know what the average... Again, don't say your age, but I'm still curious myself. I don't know if there's maybe like some data online that I can find out how old the average Zelda fan is. In my mind, it made sense that obviously as time passes, and I think this is especially true nowadays because Nintendo hasn't really been, at least in my opinion, hasn't been delivering as much as at the beginning of the Switch, right? In the beginning of the Switch 2017, with these huge bangers, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, that got a ton of people back into Nintendo or into Nintendo games for the first time. Now it's like 6 years later, or it's about to be 6 years later, so these people have grown up. And I was always wondering, yes, Nintendo, known to be this family-friendly company making games for kids, but not only have there always been older fans of the series, but obviously as time goes by, fans also get older. So I was always wondering, what's like the average age of a Legend of Zelda fan? I think it's fair to assume that especially for Legend of Zelda, the audience is a little bit more mature than for something... But then again, I'm not sure. Like, I was gonna say then something like Pokemon, but I know a ton of like Pokemon fans in their 20s. Maybe the Legend of Zelda audience is actually younger than the Pokemon audience. I have no idea. And again, I'm probably gonna look that up in like a sheet online. I'm not trying to do a poll here, but I just wanted to briefly discuss this because, again, I think for a game like Tears of the Kingdom, more mature themes don't necessarily have to add something, but it could be something interesting exploring. I'm assuming Zelda and Link, like at least canonically, didn't really grow up between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like, yes, Zelda has like different hair, but they kind of look the same. So that makes sense in that regard. But yeah, basically, just to summarize my thoughts on this, the rating is pretty much what I expected. I have like no big feelings, big thoughts about it, other than the fact that it would have been cool to look at some darker themes. And it looks like it's probably not going to be happening too extreme, right? But then in Breath of the Wild, they also managed to still sneak in like a corny joke or sneak in some darker moments, despite it receiving the same rating. So I'm completely fine. I just wanted to comment on this in general because people talked about it in my comments on this channel. So these are my brief thoughts about this. Again, I still have to record 2 more videos right now because this is all the time I have. Otherwise, after this, I need to pack and get ready to leave for the holidays. So tomorrow's video you guys will see on Christmas Eve, but I'm about to record that now. And I will be talking about my theory about the actual tiers in Tears of the Kingdom, because I was literally thinking about it earlier today, and I think I have a pretty cool theory / idea what these tiers could actually be used for. So that will be out for you guys tomorrow. That's it for today's episode. Again, I hope you guys have the best holidays, a great Christmas Eve, and maybe eat some nice food, get some nice snacks, play some video games, and just enjoy your time over this weekend. But I'll be back with another upload tomorrow and on Sunday and on Monday and every single day until Tears of the Kingdom is out, which is in 139 days. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.